Currently, I am working as a CSR private sector engagement and analyst with UNDP. Today, I'm going to present on adoption of ESG in packaging industry. Now, this study basically revolves around to have an understanding on the ESG adoption in the packaging industry. I've also studied few global organization, what kind of things they are doing for adopting the ESG practices, and also an overview around the industry snapshot of India. No, I will skip this content. Now, industry overview. So, if we look at the world packaging industry size, it will be around 1 trillion US dollars by 2025. And in India, it will be around $204 billion. The major market which is driving this growth is Asia and Pacific region, and it majorly comprises of India and China, which are leading with this packaging thing. In terms of the material by application, majorly beverage food industry is driving the major growth, and next come the healthcare and the chemical industry. Now, industry trend, if in India we see that packaging industry contributes as a fifth largest sector to the economy, and majorly the export orientation packaging is on the growth because of the lower cost in comparison to Europe. Plastic packaging market is expanding at a rate of 20-25%, and it is valued at 6.8 million tons, as well as paper packaging is around 7.6 million ton. What are the major growth drivers in this? So, major growth driver is basically the rapid urbanization which is happening across the world, including India. By 2025, 40% of the population will be in the urban areas. And due to the population shift, there will be high demand for packaging which is suitable for on the go kind of consumption. Even the portion is also getting reduced due to the various lifestyle disease which is prevalent, and a lot of new innovation is coming into the sustainability part as well. So this is also driving the overall growth. Now, somewhat a brief description on packaging. What are the materials? So basically, it consists of plastic, paper, metal container, wood and textile, and plastic and paper almost contributes around 70% of the total industry. Plastic is categorized into two parts. One is rigid and flexible packaging. And in rigid, we have these PET and HPD and PVC bottles. And in flexible, we have BOP and CPP material which is being used. Other is also the paper and paper board. So we can see a lot of corrugated boxes now being used across various deliveries which is happening. No, I have taken up a company just to study on a global perspective, because in Indian context, I could not find a big major player. So basically, it's a very global corporation. It is a US based company. The revenue is $14.5 billion, and it is having more than 265 manufacturing plants across the globe. The products basically sells. It is in majorly three areas, that is healthcare, personal care, food and beverage. And they have undertaken a risk analysis. From there, they have derived that they would like to introduce product which have low carbon intensity, and also they would like to reduce the fossil fuel consumption. In terms of stakeholder engagement, they have done a widespread stakeholder engagement from employees, customers, investors, suppliers, communities, and majorly what they have highlighted is that their major focus is on having the kind of product which is not affecting the community, and they would also like to lead the overall global plastic industry. They've also undertaken a materiality assessment, and they have considered 27 kind of material. Out of that, they have highlighted a few areas which are quite relevant to the industry, which is like circular economy promotion, then climate change in risk, employee well-being and their engagement has also been considered as a very important factor. And product quality and safety is also one of the major concern. The ESG strategy of the company is to advance a circular net zero economy that helps the customer meet ambitious sustainability goals, that supports the company's long-term social, environmental, economic goals. The ESG analysis on the environment basically is focused on the three major areas, that is driving circularity, net zero, driving sustainability through operations, and have a proper water management. So in the environment part, there is a emphasis on 100% reusable, recyclable packaging by 2025, and use of recyclable content in the packaging up to 10%. They've also highlighted scope 3 emission. So why scope 3 emission? Because scope 3 emission is around 86% of the total emission which this industry is doing, because a lot of emission is happening from the value chain. So it is very important to have a good strategy, a sound strategy for the scope 3 emission. They've also emphasized on the circularity, because this material is being used and their focus is on using less of the virgin material. And they are also doing a lot of innovation by introducing lightweight products and doing design innovations. As far as social factors are concerned, uh, they want to have a injury free workplace. They have undertaken a lot of engagement survey. They also need to do a lot of philanthropic activity, which is linked to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Ravi, sorry to
And
interrupt you. Can you
they
just
want to promote
Ravi,
inclusion by
Ravi,
having more of a diverse workforce.
Ravi,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you. Can you just come to the conclusion part? Can you conclude in another 1 minute? What is the
Okay.
message?
One is like the plastic industry is generating a lot of waste, and it is almost half of the global waste. So the conclusion is like for environment part, the industry needs to adopt to the circular economy. They need to reduce the use of virgin material. They need to have the best practices like Operation Clean Sweep, which reduces the pallet loss from the value chain. The industry need to focus on scope 3 emission, because it is a major factor for emission. On the social part, they need to ensure that their products are safe and reliable, because there are a lot of issues related to the chemical leaching which takes place, which is very harmful for the environment. And they also need to have a diverse kind of composition in terms of their board structure to have a better governance. But at the end of the point, like industries and consumers need to find a pragmatic way to find alternative solution, because packaging industry is a major cause of pollution. Even now we have heard of microplastic that is coming up, that is really harmful for not only for the animal species plant, but also for the humanity. Thank you very much. Any question, please?
Wanted to ask Ravi, is Berry that company?
Yes, Ravi. Somebody.
Yeah.
Can you please repeat, because I'm not able to hear the question properly? Can you please?
Give a minute. A second, sorry.
Yeah. So Ravi, good presentation and very insightful. Ask the company that are they also carrying out ESG audits on a regular basis?
I would request you to please repeat the question, please. I'm not able to hear him properly.
I'm, I'm checking up whether company Berry that should for ESG audits on a regular basis.
Your question is companies do regular ESG audit. That is what the question is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have studied few Indian industries, and I have seen that they have not highlighted the ESG practice very well, and they are not doing the kind of ESG governance and audit is there, because the industry using material which is being driven from the from the places where human rights issues are there. So might be one of the reason they are not getting into it, because if we see the rack pickers, their life is very hard and miserable.
What are your recommendations with the countries, to do list which you
Thank you, Ravi. May I know who is probably the next who want to present?
Yeah, I'm Sadagopan Sada here. I can present.
Sure.
That's okay.
Please.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Okay, let me know if you're able to see my screen, and we'll get started.
Just a note, please try to wind up in 8 minutes. Sure.
Please put it on slideshow form.
Yeah. Distinguished guests, good afternoon. Take this opportunity to talk about e-waste management. I'm Sadagopan, go by Sada. And I believe the context is what grows at a pace which I believe is going to be unsurmountable, and that's where I thought let me pick up a topic that is very relevant to all of us. E-waste. We are online. We use mobile. We use laptop. We use all this equipment. So this is exactly where it is increasing. So e-waste, electronic waste generated at 50 to 60 million tons annually. If you look at it, the entire weight of e-waste, just in United States was greater than, the Great Wall of China, which is the heaviest fabricated structure in the world, right? And typically what happens, whatever gets generated as e-waste, especially with developed economies, most of it gets dumped to the global South, Africa, Asia. And that means a lot of, consequences, both health and environmental consequences in this part of the world. And where does it get on to? I'll talk more details about it. It gets actually to landfills, to recyclers, and is that something that's going to be difficult to handle? Certainly. I mean, 20% gets recycled, but the 80% is very much there. And what are the opportunities? So I'll talk about this. So this is what is e-waste? We understand it. What is the composition? Yes, typically, if you look at it, there are, lamps, small IT, screens, temperature, larger and smaller equipment. So if I look at it, I think this is where the e-waste gets generated. So these are the typical reasons, sentimental value to me. It might have value in the future.
Mr. Sadagopan, your voice is lost.
Mr. Sadagopan, your voice is lost and we can't see your presentation anymore. All right. Shall we move to the next person? Maybe when Sadagopan sir joins in, then we can take it forward.
Yeah, Acha, we should go ahead with.
Yeah, because time is less. Is Mr. Pradeep Kishan Chand there or Ms. Suhasini there? Mr. Narendra Kumaran?
Ravini, I am available. This is Srinivas.
Yeah, so would you like to come forward and give your presentation?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, Srinivasu, matlab.
Yeah, I'm taking.
Yes, of course. Please take the lead.
Can I display my presentation or you are displaying?
Yes, sir. You can do it yourself, sir.
Right, I'm doing now. Hope my screen is visible.
Your screen is visible, your voice is audible, everything is good.
Yeah, great. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for giving this opportunity and all respected dignitaries as well as my colleagues, my friends. So, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Huh? Sorry. Yeah. So basically, just I would like to give the glimpse of what is the importance of ESG in pharma value chain. So in this value chain, just I have considered how the pharma industry is working towards the ESG and how they are reporting the issues. That's what just I wanted to present in this presentation. So basically, is the leaders in health industries are also using these SDGs. Mainly, they are focusing on the SDG 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages of the people. Their motto is that bring the healthy people, giving the product effective products to the people who can maintain their health well-being forever. That's what the objective of this basically from pharma industry. Then the value chain is recently, if you see that global data analysis, 757 pharmaceutical companies filing points to environmental sustainability. It is raising from 114% in first quarter of last year to this quarter compared to the last quarter of 2022. That has been taken up this year. And 32 biggest companies have committed to reduce the emissions by 45.8% over the next 12 years. This is a very revolutionary thing that people are coming forward to reduce their emissions. Then ESG has influenced the pharma industry to change its way to manufacturing and marketing product to the public. See, now the ESG is looking, the pharma industry are looking ESG as a value chain, at the same time the profitable initiative. When they take green chemistry aspect, they are getting the huge benefits by reducing the, increasing the productivity, reducing the water footprint. So this is the way the all pharma industry are moving towards as a profitable initiative, not as an environment. Basically, what I can say. Yeah. Then the many environmental factors relevant to pharma companies suddenly become critical to prompt development of treatment and vaccines. So vaccines, if you see safety standards and regulation, large scale rapid expansion of manufacturing, governance consideration, all these things are prevailing here. If you take the MSC and Sustainalytics, two popular ESG rating providers, recognize the significance of social issues, basically the product safety and quality, access to the healthcare and human capital development for the pharmaceutical industries has been taken up, and it is reflecting their focus on these areas on social aspects. They assign social factors a much higher weight than the environmental elements in their company specific ratings, with the product safety and quality assigned weight of 25 to 30% of both these two both agencies as reflected over there. So this is the way the pharma industry is moving towards the ESG journey and giving the high priority based on the customer requirements. Customers are imposing the ESG requirement on these all pharmaceutical industry people. So that's what it is evaluating as a value chain and the profitable initiatives. So ESG in value chain is seen.
Please conclude. Please conclude.
So these are I'm covering. These are the basic benefits. So ESG touches every part of the business. What I wanted to say here, the value to the business is the ESG. So these are the various benefits enhancing the talent attraction, brand reputation, pricing of the product, reducing the risk. All these things are being considered for driving these ESG aspects. These are the main ESG risks which are being reflected over there. So based on the time, these are the three pillars of ESG where pharma has been taken up in the past few years. And these are the pillars what I can say on these areas. That's all from my side. Just I have taken all glimpses of pharma industries, how they are working towards this.
Thank you, Srinivas. Any questions? Any questions, sir? Any
Yeah,
questions?
how do you manage governance in the pharma industry on the ESG aspect?
Yeah, basically the pharma industry, all industries, as per my industry as well as my previous industry, we are having corporate steering committee for the ESG. So every board meeting, the ESG results are being reviewed in various levels, as a plant level as well as the BU level as well as the corporate level. So goals are being identified and published, and that are being tracked on monthly basis or quarterly basis at various levels. That's the way the implementation progress is being managed. At the same time, the organization ESG goals are being monitored by the external customers. That is going to be major impact on the pharmaceutical industry.
Is the question answered?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Stakeholders and the pharma industry. So probably some kind of making them more socially responsible, some kind of added sessions can be there for them by a particular industry.
Yes.
Have their knowledge.
We'll take a note of it, sir. Harsha, is anybody from the first half left?
Well, they will come, but the next one is of Samir Sharma.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'll share my screen.
Samir,
His name
again,
is not there in
please,
the agenda.
please come to conclusion within 6 minutes.
Yeah, I will. Yes, I will take even less than 6 minutes because
Mohit, it's
I'm,
unfair. You're reducing 2 minutes for every every new presenter.
And if it goes for 6 minutes, people take 10 minutes.
Thank you so much and good afternoon, everyone. So the topic is basically that how ESG investments today in finance sector is very important. How it plays a very important role. And since I've moved my career to the finance sector from a manufacturing sector, so this gave me a kind of a very good opportunity to learn that what investors are looking at. So this is a presentation which is based out of my recent interactions with some of the big investors who are right now thinking that India is a big economy where they can invest. But if the companies follow certain criterias and policies also with respect to sustainability and ESG. So these are some of the topics which I am going to talk about: the traditional approach, the history of sustainable investing, and the how what is the eye of investor basically, and the recommendations towards it. So all of us are aware, I mean, who have studied the ESG space in the recent years, that earlier the primary concern of investors has been on the level of returns which were provided by an investment, and generally they were thinking that how these returns will come to them. But now we are seeing a very kind of a 360-degree change in towards the responsibility, and the stewardship of investors' money, where they are very particular in choosing the kind of industry which they have. So I have gone deep into the subject and have, seen the history as well. So I found that there are certain religious roots as well. One of the reasons which I observed during my research is that when the Methodist Church asking its congregations not to profit at the expense of those around them. This was one of the initial startups. And then the categorization of companies or industries as sinful is directly from the spirit of time, where people who are investing in alcohol companies, tobacco, weapon companies, they were prohibited from investment by parishioners. So there has been a religious angle which has been which is mentioned in the history books as well. And then there are different voices which has raised the concern of sustainable finance to a very, very great level, where we have seen companies like Volkswagen, BP, they have been penalized of not being I would say, I would rather use a word greenwashing, and we have seen multiple fall in prices of the shares which they were holding. And now this is more of talk of the with the coming age for responsible investing, that people are seeing responsible investing as a clear tool of making long term profits and sustainability of the company. So I will quickly run through these slides. I've just mentioned in the context of the finance sector, that what is E in ESG in the finance sector, what is S and what is G. So all of us are aware more or less on these aspects. But this is an investor eye, which is very, very important to mention here, that they are looking at four major aspects. These are basically the interactions which I had with the investors, that thematic investing, the positive and negative screening is done by them very, very importantly. And the impact investing for the social enterprises, also for the people who are want to build their social enterprises or entrepreneurship to a great extent. So these are the four criterias where they are looking at. And so what I mentioned about that, there appears to be a very, very growing opinion in the investment industry that companies have to fit in the ESG space to a great extent, and they want people to take baby steps, not to exaggerate, at all regarding the practices, because it's a journey. It's a journey which one has to, take, and there is no competition. So the message here is that we must shift our thinking away from the short-term gains and look at towards the long-term investments and sustainability. And we have to keep every decision in mind which we make for the next generations. So this is the message which the investors are also looking at. Thank you.
So, Mr. Sharma, what is the role of the investment industry for the unorganized sector? Because the unorganized sector continues to lag behind in the ESG systems. So your views on that?
On the unorganized sector, you are telling me?
Yes.
Correct.
So basically, I mean, we have India as a country, in terms of the unorganized sector, we have not reached up to that level, because we are struggling yet for the companies who are organized, even to tell them that, look, this is a very, very important criteria. We are talking to boards, we are talking to the management who are dealing different departments, and we are telling them, look, this ESG space is not an hobby horse of a person who is leading the ESG in your industry. It has to be a combined force. So just to answer your question in brief, for an unorganized sector, it is very, very difficult, it seems, as of now. But as we move forward, of course, when we prove and give some very solid examples of results and investments, of course, then it will trickle down to the unorganized sector.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, are investments relevant to unorganized sector? So investments are
yes,
looked
of course,
mostly by...
Yes, very much. I'll give you an example. This bangle making industry is the unorganized sector in India. And if you look at the turnover, it is 400 crores of worth of investment, if somebody can make it. So yes, it is very relevant. But at this point in time, I see a bit of an immaturity, in the decision making of dealing particularly with the unorganized sector.
Samir,
Yes, sir. It's
Samir, just to ask you from the audience side, any reflection on when this will become mandate for companies to come across and fulfill ESG requirements? Any reflection?
Sorry, I am not able to hear you out clearly. I'm very sorry.
so Santosh is asking, could you just, based on your study, could you tell when it would be generalized in your unorganized sector? What timeline could you predict?
No, I am very sorry on this because I have not done any research around this.
Is your question answered, sir? Any other questions from anybody? You, sir?
I would only like to add that he's done a good job in his presentation by bringing out the religion angle to ESG and kind of conveying that it's a social evil for the investors if they go to the non.
Yes, brilliant point. Thank you, Sami.
Thank you. I think I have done justice to the time.
Yeah, thank you, Sami.
Thank you.
Asha, who is the next one?
Mr. Balraj Varekar.
First, right? Automobile industry.
They don't respond.
Mr. Banraj.
Yeah, he's here. But okay, would Henry or anyone else like to go first?
Yes, we can conclude the two banking part. Henry and British Mauritius Bank.
Arsha, this is
Yeah.
Govindarajan.
Yes,
This is
sir.
Govindarajan.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, due to some medical emergency, I couldn't prepare my thesis. If you permit, can I speak about my topic, if you don't mind?
We are doing only presentations right now. It may not be the best way forward.
Okay. Because I thought
Yeah.
I joined it today just now because
Yeah,
I
it would
was
not
in
be the best way
medical.
forward. We need to justify the others also who have prepared the presentation. So maybe we can speak about it later.
Yes. Henry, are you there? Mr. Henry, are you there?
Can I share? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. This is Balraj. I'm just.
Yes, I have been asking you to do the
Yeah, my
presentation.
mic was not on. So so I was just not. Okay. I'm just sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Right. Not so like this. Okay. Hopefully my screen is visible.
There's an echo which you need to switch off.
Yeah. Now there must not be, right?
Yeah.
There is
you
an
have
echo.
another 5 minutes to complete. Please complete in another 5 minutes.
Yeah. Is the echo got recovered? Is it okay? Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Balraj Wadekar, and I am doing this presentation on the ESG adoption in the automobile sector, and I have chosen the four major organizations in automobile, and I will be presenting here about the automobile, and these are the four major industries or organization I have chosen. That is Dana Incorporated, Tata Motors, Audi, Tesla, and Nissan. These are the big giant. And this is about the overview of automobile industry. It's a very big industry, and if you see the 2.95 trillion US dollar is the industry, and if you see the how many motors we are manufacturing or how many people got the job is very, very important here, 24 lakhs. And then about the industry, how big industry is, if you conclude the OEM and the tier 1, tier 2, is more than 50,000 or industries or organization or manufacturing sectors will come in. This is basically a flow of the industry, raw material, tier 2, tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, original equipment manufacturer, that is car manufacturer, then logistic distribution, and then aftermarket. These are the major giants. One is tier 1 organization, and the rest four are different multinational, German, Japan, US, and Indian or manufacturing organization I have chosen for the study. This is about the industry, how big the industries are. This is about one sample example on the analysis of the company's disclosures. How companies are disclosing? Are they started? Are they studied? Are they
Last 2
spent
years,
the
you say.
material? Yeah,
As per
last
you,
four.
it is last 2 years, 2020 onwards.
Yeah, yes. This is about one industry because I have taken for a sample here as a sample of one industry. Then environment, on environment, this is the initiative sample as a Dana Incorporated, like how they are targeting, what is their commitment on the net zero and how they will do, and what are the standards they are following, and what is the actions towards the environment they are doing. These are the examples. I will not go in detail before, in interest of the time. This is about the governance, and these are the activities they are doing, like they are have a policy, then procedure, trainings, and then they are giving voice to the people to highlight if anything wrong is going, and it is also part of the boardroom. Then this is about the social, so they are doing all different things on people diversity, equipment, people development, safety, health, group, and then innovation, and these are the some of the initiative and some of the awards I can say. I am very shortly and very quickly I have done the sustainability comparison between the industries, how they are doing, what standard they are following, and what is the risk assessment, whether they identified, not identified, whether materiality assessment done or not. What is the net zero target of the industry kind of thing, just to comparison. Then stakeholders identification, relation between the stakeholder and materiality, and then relation between the stakeholder and power and interest, and their mapping on the graph, and their management strategy, how we will manage the critical stakeholders. And then this is the comparison of the ESG score of the 5 different industries. And from this score, we can see that which industry is doing good into overall into the ESG. This is again, this is our internal study, and this is the external scope rating of the industries. You can see here, I have taken from the Sustainalytics, and you can see which industry. So score is again very much matching with this. So how this industry is getting scope 1 and scope 3, what is the challenge? There is no challenge in scope 1 and 2. But in terms of scope 3, there is a lot of challenge, and there is no clear and clear recording, reporting, and there is a complexity in it because we have multiple things. So this is the ESG analysis of all 5 industries in terms of environment, what we are doing in environment, what we are doing into social, what we are doing into governance. So what is the main pinpoint regarding these 3 parts? And this is overall SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, and state about the industry. And I have identified what are the strength of the organization's commitment and consistency and actual continual improvement is the strength, whereas the knowledge and skill manpower, clarity on the legal framework, clarity on the guidelines are the major weaknesses. Whereas upskilling of the leadership on ESG and making ESG drive standardization of control process, upskilling of the ESG leaders is the opportunity. And then threats are like dependency on third-party suppliers, scope 3 skill and knowledge of process owners, frequent change in the legal framework, and the different legal framework in the different countries again a challenge. Being in multinational companies, uncontrolled ESG risk and basically unknown risk. So this is the benefit and challenges and benefit of the adopting ESG into the industries. And we have already saw this in previous slide, and this is my conclusion and recommendations. So I'm recommending to the industry that whatever is in terms of environment we are doing, we also need to get it cascaded to the tier 3, and even the raw material companies. And then CSR also we can have, and not only to the organization but complete supply chain we can get part of it. And then in terms of governance, we are doing good, but again, for people front, diversity can be also be taken into the boardroom so that complete organization can be better get diversified. So overall, speed up this ESG interaction is by better, upskilling and reporting and tweaking the for the ESG adoption, and then supply follow demand again. As the investors will force more, industries will force more to adopt the ESG, and it will go to the tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4, and even at the end. One more challenge here I have added is basically this industry has very less information regarding the. This is my last
Balraj, I
slide.
have to stop you. So
Yeah, please.
any questions from anybody? Any questions from anybody?
Yeah. So Balraj, what is your comment on the automobile industry position on scrap management? Because India is a booming automobile sector, and all these vehicles at the end of their product life cycle needs to go back somewhere. Right now, it is managed by the unorganized sector.
Yeah. So this is the challenge actually. If you see here, circular economy, product life cycle is a challenge. So at present, there is no solution. People are thinking on it, but it is at the direction of thinking. But as thinking is started going forward, it will be definitely that will be also a part of organized sector. But at present, people don't have even the study done on the product life cycle and even circular economy. It is not done. People have started like if they are manufacturing 1,000 products, they are starting as a sample for the one product. But it is a long way to go. But good part is things are started, and in coming days it will be part of the organized sector. Have I answered your question, sir?
Yeah, thanks, Balraj.
Thank you very much. Any other question from
Any other question? Balraj, I have a question. You wrote
Yes,
science-based target strategy. What do you mean by science-based target strategy?
So this is an international organization which is working for industries to set the target for reducing the temperature, setting their target to reduce the carbon emissions to achieve the global target.
No, my question is, you mentioned in one slide that they would be doing it through science-based target strategy. So how?
Yeah,
what is your science?
What we did it? I given one of the industries example, like Dana Incorporated has taken a target of net zero by 2050, but they realized whether it is correct or not. Let us check and verify with the science-based target SBTI organization. So they reached to SBTI organization. They have studied complete organization, and they have now given the correct analysis and correct calculations to speed up the net zero. And now instead of 2050, Dana Incorporation has taken a target of 2040 as an 2040 as a target. So this organization is a non-profit organization, and they support industry to set a target. Have I answered your question, sir?
Yes, but let's see, in your slides, you have mentioned that Tata is actually at a higher risk than Dana. So I'm sure that you have gone through Dana and Tata Motors. Can you please tell me in what sectors Tata Motors are lagging on a science front from Dana? Tata is a giant, Indian giant. India reports the score for Tata is less than Dana. So what are the science sectors Tata is lacking?
And it's not my score. Even the external score will also be saying same thing. And the reason is, yes, Tata is very good into philanthropy. They are doing a lot of social work. But if you calculate and if you see their actions on ESG, governance is good, social is good. But if you see the environment, they are really not started the journey when they should be started. Of course, they have started now, but they are slightly late if I compare with Dana. But they are very much with the other automobile industry as well.
Thank you
And
very
that's the
much.
reason they are scored less. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any other question from me?
Thank you. Yes, yes, another question for you.
It's not a question, but it's observation.
I'm not able to hear you clearly, sir. Sorry for that.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Better than before, but not very clear.
So you
Okay.
pass on the question to me.
Yeah.
No.
The recommended integration of CSR in the value chain. I'm afraid that cannot happen because CSR is primarily aimed at the society, not for your processes.
So the question asked is that you have mentioned your CSR and supply chain. Could you please elaborate how it will be done?
Yeah. So basically, how it can be done? We like these are, if you see the all original manufacturer equipment, and they have a tier 1 suppliers, they have a tier 2 suppliers, and they have tier 2, 3 suppliers. So they have a very big power to the influence their suppliers. So these are the main big giants
Talking
who
about
can.
Toyota model. He's talking about a Toyota model, the supply chain,
Yeah.
26%.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
what
much.
I'm saying. Supply. Yeah. Have I
Thank you.
answered?
Thank you, Balraj. It was a nice
Okay. Thank you
presentation.
very much, and thank you
Krishna
for
ji?
giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Krishna ji, who is coming next?
I think so. Sadagopan was there, and we missed out taking his complete presentation. Sadagopan, would you like to go next? And whoever would
Yeah.
like to go next, please
I
mention
think he has already done it, no?
I
No.
did. I got
Yeah, but he
disconnected in the
got
process.
disconnected.
Okay. Please go ahead. You will be doing in TBT.
Okay, thanks, Harsha,
TBT.
and yeah. So let me restart my presentation. I think I'll get to the.
TBS.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I was talking about e-waste, and I believe I just said the context in terms of the amount of e-waste that gets generated, the composition of e-waste. Okay, just to set the context in terms of the amount of e-waste, and certainly why do people hoard, correct? So some of the reasons I was sharing with you in terms of e-waste, typically people hold in terms of using it in the future, planning to not sell it, and rather there is a sentimental value and multiple other reasons. But having said that, there is also a planned obsolescence that happens with e-waste, right? So for example, my mobile phone, I always look forward to a newer set of or a new version, for example, an iPhone or a new version of Samsung, because there is a perceived obsolescence. So actually that is built into the product where I need to upgrade to get the best of the features and functionality. And certainly to get my older phone, there is a higher cost of repair. So part of it is also packaged in the industry. Now, where does it all land, right? So all the e-waste gets disposed of. Typically, it is all unorganized. It gets to landfills. It pollutes the air, the water, the soil, and it has adverse effects on living organisms. And an example for how does it really get on to even the human, in terms of the air pollution, the soil contamination, how does it come and affect us? So it has a lot of
Yes, sir.
bad impacts on our respiratory system, on our gastroenteritis, and multiple digestive systems, and certainly the soil contamination, etc. So it has a big impact. Now, apart from the environment, we just touched about what do we do. So we talked about recycling. So what is important from a recycling perspective, I would call it as there is a huge opportunity, and this is also called as urban mining, right? So if you get on to mining gold from the ore, I mean, it takes around 10 grams per ton is what you get from, and that is around a $400. Whereas if you do it from the e-waste, you have a much higher yield. And there is a big move in terms of how we could lesser cut down on usage of virgin resources and get to our e-waste. I mean, the statistic where it says that 13 times it is more expensive to get on to mining than to properly recycling our electronics. And this is a huge opportunity. As we talk about risk, there is a huge opportunity. The global e-waste recycling is estimated at $57 billion, and in India, it is a $7 billion opportunity. So this is like a big industry. Certainly, it requires attention, and so I just have called out in terms of how do we do recycling. So this is like the collection, the transportation, shredding of the material, sorting it out, reuse, recycle, process, and recover. And more important, right? How do we go about doing it? So there is a good parallel industry that works. So there are refurbishers who actually get on to equipment refurbishing, resale of it, and then there is there are set of people who disassemble, demanufacture, and then there is the recovery of valuable components like gold, lead, copper, etc., which I talked about, and certainly recovery of the hazardous and base metals like mercury, PCB, removal of plastics, and then it gets disposed of. No doubt, the disposal today is not necessarily done in a manner that is actually eco-friendly or good for the environment. So that is the global view. India is the third largest generator of e-waste. So we are as we progress in terms of getting to the top 5 to the top 3, even in e-waste we have progressed pretty fast. So we are in the top 3. We had generated around 1.6 million tons in 21-22. Typically, this is a bigger urban problem. I mean, 65 cities in India generated around 60% of e-waste, as you could see. And yes, what is, from a, we talked about, where does this e-waste land? And this problem is only going to get bigger, right? The consumer durables market, I mean, they see a CAGR of around 10%. Even if we take around next 5 years, this could just worsen the e-waste problem, right? So from a Government of India perspective, yes, I think November 22, they launched the e-waste management rules. I mean, this is in continuation to the earlier e-waste management we just launched. I'll talk a bit about it so that you get a understanding of what's government doing here. The e-waste rules were published in 2016. Concepts like EPR, or Extended Producer Responsibility, PRO, Producer Responsibility Organizations, were brought in this particular rules. There is a good amount of companies got registered. The percentage of recycled waste, e-waste, during 1819 and 1920, around 22% got recycled. And also in the new rules in 2022, there are newer set of items that was brought in the jurisdiction. And yes, now it is moving from a regional to a central pollution control board. So there is a impact that is coming from the center. Having said that, what does these rules really imply, right? So one is in terms of the extended producer responsibility. So, getting that registration is getting important, and also the focus on, digitizing the entire systems and how, right from the traceability, how it can be managed. But let me tell you what is really missing is 95%. Yeah,
hello, sorry to interrupt you. Can you come to the conclusion?
Yeah, I'll do that. So basically, it the informal or the unorganized sector, which is 95% does the recycling, that has been left out. So that is the myopic view which needs attention. And yeah, I mean, I'm talking about how it can be improved upon, how we can formalize it. We can give e-credit to the manufacturers, have some e-waste ATM machines or ATMs to collect it and do the entire tracking, certification, etc. And yes, I think to conclude, I'm going to say that we as consumers, we need to get educated. We need to get beyond to pass on. It is actually a movement that we need to form to really get on to get people to understand how important it is collect it and dispose it.
वरच्या पॉइंटला आहे 1 नंबर पॉइंटला आपण तुम्ही जेवण बिवण झालं असेल तर चालू करू पण कुठे यायचं मला सेफ्टी शूज लागतील गॉगल आहे ना एकदम
Please close the door.
आपण एक काम करूया बाहेर फिरायला सेफ्टी शूज नाही लागणार ना लागणार आहे
There is some cross talk.
आपण या तुम्ही डायरेक्टली आपण खालती इथं ऑफिस मध्ये वरती जेवतात ना आपण बाहेर गुण आलो तर जेवलो.
Yeah, so I believe I just wanted to leave this as a message. It is important to start a campaign, form a community, get this e-waste, I mean, how big it is and how important it is to really drive this as a campaign. So that is the thought that I wanted to share with all of you. And yes, I think more from the policy side to involve the informal sector which does the recycling, so that it becomes a successful
yes, I think so, Mr. Sadgopan, your volume, we can't hear you at all.
It is audible here, ma'am.
Okay.
It's very much
Hello?
audible.
Okay, okay, audible.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
so I just wanted to, bring this thing
Maybe we
in
can
terms
go
of,
to the question and answer session.
yeah.
Anybody
Okay.
has questions?
Yeah. So, Mr. Sadagopan, these OEMs continue to ignore the e-waste management of their own products. What do you think that we can do better in terms of governance to get the OEMs into the e-waste cycle?
Yeah, today what happens is the original manufacturer, he actually, gets on to identify a PRO and delegate this responsibility. I believe the recycling should, the end of life, the product has to come to him and he has to show what the percentage of products that I have really recycled, right? So today there is not clear mandate around it. It gets delegated, it gets to the informal sector. But if we bring him into this entire set of, recycling and, how he is handling it, then it will make a significant difference. And digitization is very core to it because that will help us get, the entire visibility to the entire supply chain from manufacturing to recycling to managing the e-waste. I hope that helps.
Any other question? Any other questions? I would like to ask a question. You were talking about e-waste manager. Is your part of dumping from foreign was in your accumulation report?
Yeah, there is a
third largest country. Do you took it to anti-dumping role?
So I believe that is certainly, currently anti-dumping is not being talked about, but that is, that is a prevalent
there is a
practice
rule.
which is happening.
Have you gone into any reports of dumping of e-waste?
Yes, from a public domain perspective, there are information available. In terms of dumping.
So what percentage of entire accumulation, the percentage of dumping comes in?
So in terms, yeah, I could share those details, but yes, what I could get data is from the public domain, and I'm not talking only about India, but it is the global south, right? In Africa, in Asia.
If 100% is the accumulation, how much is from the dumping? Can we have an idea on this? Or is it only the Indians who are accumulating it? Is Indians responsible, or is it other people doing?
No, India is responsible to the extent of its own products, but there is also dumping that happens from the developed countries. But yeah, you are asking for data and statistics. Yes, that is something that I can certainly share. Yeah, it's a combination of both.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Harshaji, we can take up the next.
Yeah, Mr. Henry, would you like to go first? Okay, let's go by the agenda which is there instead of asking them.
Okay, Mahesh.
Okay, if he's not there, let's go to the yeah, Yudish wants to go first. Mr.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Share my screen.
Banking sector, please.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can put it in the slideshow format.
Can you see it now, the full presentation?
Yes, we all can see your presentation. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Yudish. I'm from Mauritius, and I'll be presenting to you the ESG implementation by the banking sector. And the bank I have taken, it's the Mauritius Commercial Bank. It has a tagline in terms of commuting to success beyond numbers, because often banks were regarded as I would say, profit-making company. But even though the bank has initiated various initiatives where it believes it can go beyond numbers, that is beyond profit. So the content will be talking about the 4 things: introduction, assessment, analysis, and the conclusion. In terms of the introduction, so the MCB, Mauritius Commercial Bank, its headquarters is in Mauritius, and it is located in various countries, in 11 countries, and it has a network of approximately 100 in Africa. In terms of its ranking in world, it is 597th in the Tier 1 capital. And also it has various awards in terms of being the best bank of Mauritius in the year 2022, and various awards such as the environmental awards in 2023. In terms of the logo, you will see that the logo has 5 major things that they focus on. It's simple, responsibility, positive impact, partnership, and push. Now, in terms of the assessment, this is where I want to emphasize on as well, is in terms of the bank is committed to sustainable development goals, the UN Global Compact. We have the SUNREF and AFD. These are the DFI funds. It's the developing finance institution that provides fund at a low interest rate, where the bank finances renewable or other green projects. And then they are also the signatories of the Equator Principles, where they assess high-risk projects in terms of various guidelines. So in terms of the environmental initiatives, they also take into consideration the climate risk while financing projects, because being located in an island, we are mainly focused on the assets being affected by flooding, storms, or also other hazards. And also environmental and social risk is about the assessment being done in terms of projects while lending. Environmental initiatives include climate awareness, responsible finance. You have offsetting, that they often offset. They have loan scheme. They have a own green taxonomy, and also they have introduced a green bond initiative as well. So the direct environmental impact is mostly about energy, water, paper consumption, and also the food waste, which is decreasing during the years now. In terms of the initiative, we can see that they have done various workshops in terms of awareness at various stakeholder levels. These are some of the pictures. And also impact partnership is they work with different partnerships to have different roles in terms of, let's say the good shop is more about the social goods. The Vélo Vert is more about agricultural, which are organics. Mission Vert is all about recycling, and also I would say green initiatives in terms of saving the planet. The social initiatives, they have DI, which is the diversity and inclusion, where they have an objective of 40% women in management by 2026. They have employment engagement, well-being, it's more in terms of mental health projects, and also supporting local businesses such as Made in Mauritius and also entrepreneurs. These are some of the pictures, and also you will see that they have around I would say 11 SDGs out of the 17 that they have targeted. In terms of the governments, they have Sustainability Strategic Council aligned with the sustainability agenda, and this is at the board level as well. They have a meeting twice a year. They have climate risk and management, which reports to the board, and also different policies in terms of bribery, whistleblowing, and tax. So the analysis is that the sustainability journey started recently. It's 2008, but after that they have signed various agreements, as you can see here, and notably one would be in terms of the SUNREF, where they had sustainable finance initiatives promoted in Mauritius, and then this continues with regards to various agreements being signed on. The latest, which has been affected all banks in Mauritius, is the climate risk related financial risk management, which has been published by the Bank of Mauritius, whereby all banks in Mauritius now need to have a assessment of the physical asset they are financing, but this is an initiative that was already taken in by the bank. In terms of the materiality assessment, you can see on the left is the methodology, and on the right was what are the materiality topics that was considered while doing for the assessment of the bank. And these were taken into consideration with the stakeholders analysis. You can see that we have the direct stakeholder, indirect, and also some partners that are already being present here. In terms of the scores and comparison, we can see that the scores, while doing with the maturity assessment, the score was 7.8, and while doing the peer-to-peer analysis with other banks, we saw that the bank was positioned at a very good level as well. So in terms of recommended to have as well is various things with regards to environmental register and carbon offset plans. They have it, but they do not report, I would say, have it as a target, let's say in 2050 or 2030, what they need to do as well. Environmental register, they have various plans, but they do not cater for it very well. And in terms of the observation, you can see that there are various areas of improvement as well. And it has been rated by MSCI as an A-rated company. And in terms of the conclusion, I would like to say that the banking sector actually contributes to a lot of GHG indirectly through, I would say directly and indirectly through its loan investment. It is said that it contributes more than 100% of GHG along its supply chain. So the banking sector is really, I would say, a very good sector where we need to start implementing various guidelines in terms of environment, ESG, which is also cascaded down in the lending activities. So that's all from me. Thank you. And I would like to have some questions as well.
Any questions from anybody?
Yeah. So Yogesh, what is MCB's role in funding green energy in Mauritius, considering that Mauritius being an island country? I'm sure you have put in a lot of emphasis on green energy.
Yeah. So, okay, let me answer that question. In terms of the target of the Mauritian government, it's around 40% to 60% by 2030 of renewable energy. What is MCB doing? MCB is initiated, like I mentioned, the green bond. One of the green bond that has been initiated is in terms of financing renewable energy, where we have financed more than 10 solar farms. Secondly, we have also a green taxonomy. The green taxonomy, what it does is that you have a criteria in terms of financing renewable energy, where you have a low interest rate, and this is encouraging more SMEs and MMEs, that are medium companies, coming forward to have their own renewable energy.
Merci beaucoup, Yogesh.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, please. Yes.
Hi.
Green.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Question for you. Are you also mapping the digital emission which happens because of banking operations on mobile phone? The emission which takes place out of it. If yes, then how?
Can you please relay that question to me? I was not able to hear it well.
You're asking me to repeat the question? The digital emission which happens out of, let's say somebody is downloading an application of your mobile banking, or somebody is doing a transaction, then also there is some emission which is happening. Since you talked about 100% GHG, are you also mapping it? And if yes, then how? Am I clear?
Yes, I got your question, and it's a very good question, I would say. Actually, MCB initiated one of the first application for the mobile app, and it's called the MCB Juice. It is being mapped, I would say, in terms of how, I would not say it is being mapped correctly. This is an area of improvement, to be honest with you, but it is mapped in terms of how much GHG are being, I would say, used by the, I would say the bank, and this is being offset through various plans. But this is an area of improvement with regards to, it's I would say, a very complex supply chain, whereby there are various users, because we have more than, I would say 500,000 customers in an airline of 1.3 million. So that's an area where we need to focus more. Thank you for that question as well.
Thank you very much.
Any other question?
Bank of Mauritius is also issuing sustainable bonds. Not spoken about that.
Sorry, is it more about sustainable bonds, right?
Sustainable bonds, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have a financial institution that has initiated the sustainability. but it's not termed right as sustainability. It has been termed as a green bond. So the green bond, where you need to have an independent assessment to assess whether it's really green. That's, we all know how it goes. So MCB participated in the first green bond. It was this year, where they financed 10, I would say 10 photovoltaic firms indirectly through a big company. So it is already being done. I hope I answered.
Fine. Thank you for the presentation. May we have the second person, please? A small note, please fill in the industry validation. The forms are available at the counter. Maybe some of your forms you will find at your tables. Please do fill and submit at the registration desk. Now we can continue with the next presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Mohit. We'll go by the order. Is Mahesh Mukera here? If not, then Mr. Anand Kumar Ravi. I see that you're here.
Pradeep has also not done. Subhashni, Rakesh, Narendra.
Yeah, they are all here. Yeah, they all want to do it in the last, but then if they don't do it, there will be no last.
Let Mahesh do it.
Uttara. Then we close it with we can close things early also if no one is giving any presentation.
So can I do the presentation? I am Narendra here.
Yes, of course you can.
Marsha, I want to go next after Narendra.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Sure.
Harshra, I'll go after him. I'm Uttara. So after Narendra and whoever volunteered, I'll be the third.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I am trying to share my screen.
A small note to begin, please finish in 5 minutes. Come to the point.
Okay.
Thank you. Please start.
Yeah, my screen is visible?
Yes, very much visible and you're audible.
Yeah. Okay, my master's thesis topic is ESG in the renewable energy sector. So ESG reporting is becoming increasing importance in the renewable energy sectors. There is opportunities for the renewable energy key issues points, which is a part of the pillar in MSCI ESG rating model. The opportunities for renewable energy key issue scores assess the company's ability to generate revenue utilizing the public subsidies. To implement the ESG properly, the company must look beyond the simple greenness to the governance, social and governance components such as the ethical labor relations, health and safety policies, and overall corporate social responsibilities. So, if to explain this part, the company was created. The name of the Wind Waker Energy, which is having the theme of they cater the need of energy. Is having around 2,000 employees, having a capacity of 800 megawatts. So its theme is the Wind Waker Energy develops, builds, finances, and operates the clean energy projects with a proven track and record of implementing a full cycle business model in numerous projects across the region and developing through two operations. So here the ESG renewable sectors, as we I will be further subdivided, break down on the components are under environmental, the carbon footprints that includes the greenhouse gas emissions, the strategies in emission reduction and the use of renewable energy sources. Then the resource efficiencies, that is using the advanced technologies, recycling initiatives, and sustainable supply chain practices. In social, the community engagement, where the educational programs of partnership, the partnership of the job creation initiatives, and then the employees welfare, that is workplace safety, diversity, inclusion, and the employees training, and in the impact on the social, improving the public health outcome, reducing the air pollution and the cleaner energy. So in the sorry. So in the under the governance, there is a board of structure and diversity, which is ensuring the diversity in terms of gender, and then the ethical business practices, that is anti-corruption, the risk management in terms of safety, the risk
Narendra, could you
management,
please
and
raise your voice?
yeah, 1 minute.
Decibel level. I was.
Yes. Okay. Now it is better.
Better, much better.
Okay. Yes. So I am moving to the next one. So this is regarding the renewable energy specific metrics. That is the capacity and output, the energy capacity installed, and the energy actual outputs. And then the innovation and technologies, which is the innovation in the renewable energy sectors. So going further, the strategy taken is the tackle the climate change worldwide. For this, the energy focusing, the combining the careful selection of the development of top tier sites for renewable energies. So our continued focus on the innovation. So with this thing, the Wind Waker was able to avoid the emission of 1 million tons of carbon dioxide, and they are also achieved while they are allying with the communities where they operate. They are operating in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. Under the megawatts, the power installed is also mentioned. So with this, currently they have a total of 9 fully operational renewable energy projects where there is more than 3.5 million megawatt powers is being generated. With this, they have avoided 1.1 million tons of carbon dioxide. With this, they have supplied 1.8 million families power supply in the last 4 years. So aligning to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the two things are taken into consideration. One is the core SDGs, other is the material SDGs, which was taken under consideration for renewable sector. The core SDGs is the affordable and the clean energy and the climate actions. So that is the core SDGs. In that, the material SDGs taken into consideration are the quality education, gender equality, and decent work and environmental growth, industry innovations for infrastructure, sustainable cities and economies, then the responsible consumption production. So in this thing, the much focus is being done on the 3 sustainable pillars, which is the quality education, then the advocating the gender equality, and enhancing the sustainable living. So in this thing, the first one is taken is going above and beyond the local regulations. So what is the local regulation demanding, satisfying that requirement, and also going beyond the one. The thing is meeting the actual essence of the regulations and the goals. So and next one is prioritizing the health and safety in the workplace. So in that is ensuring the zero accident in all the work activities. For that, the actions, continuing improvement actions taken is having a new health and safety management system, then having a robust internal audit mechanisms, and having the ambitious targets like the zero accidents, and developing the new qualifications and evaluation programs, and the introduction of the professional travel monitoring procedures. So with this thing, in 2020, we were able to achieve these targets, creep on indicators, and in the eco considerations, the for carbon footprint reduction is done by taken care by avoiding the use of the paper office, improving the recycling schemes, switching the plastic bottles and disposable coffee pots, and putting the places in the cart spacing policies, measuring how they enable the encouraging the more flexible forms of working. So with this thing, there is a reduction of paper is 1,156 kilos of trees have been saved. Reduction is water, 21,000 liters of water has been saved. The reduction of carbon dioxide, carbon emission, 2,700 kilos. Reduction of waste, 1,187 kilos. So next one is the ecosystem considerations. In ecosystem considerations, in the past years, the care has been taken in the state in Madhya Pradesh. The apiculture, that is the beekeeping, has been done, and then in the Andhra Pradesh, the environmental education center and nursery garden done, and some areas in the Telangana, the donation of seedlings, and in the in Tamil Nadu, the 1,229 hectares of forest land and grass habitat have been protected. So, and the next one is related to the communities. In the communities, across as a committee, we focus on the education and sustainable living. So with this thing, the projects taken and number of communities covered and the people benefited, that is around 8,500 and people have been benefited by this thing. And in terms of the gender equalities, so the goal taken is no, we do not discriminate on the ground of gender, ethnic, religion, culture, educational, and sexual orientation. So with this thing, the manpower able to manage in the past years is around the female 38% and male is around 62%. So, and this one says the how much of action training has been done to the female workforce. And with this thing, we come to the conclusion that in the past 4 years, the action taken on the ESG as in terms of like in the workplace, tackling the gender gap has been done, and then the increase in the focus of the environmental mitigations and preservations that is going beyond the local regulations. That is we want to understand more about the project impacts on the local environment and meeting the actual gaps. Then the culture to continue to play a vital role in the future, ensuring that.
Naren, sorry, I am interrupting again. Could you please conclude? Give us the takeaway.
So with this thing, the takeaway of this final thing, so we are able to we can have the ESG in the environmental, that is the renewable energy sectors, and the sectors like gender, we can tackle the gender gap, we can have the environmental mitigation preservations, we can have the community focus things can be done, and then there can be the investment on training and development of the communities. So these are the possible opportunities in the renewable energy sectors for ESG developments.
Any other questions from? Can we go to question and answer straight? Any questions from anybody? Mr. Praveen?
Narendra, where is your solar panel manufactured? Is it made in India or is it made in other countries?
No, the solar panel manufacturers, some are made in India, some are imported. Because the thing is, solar cells is not manufactured in India. It is completely imported. But still, some of the panels are being made in India. By getting the solar cells, it can be manufactured in India. Some are being imported. So both are can be done, are being done.
Thanks.
Mr. Praveen, you.
You have shown a slide for board diversity and also for diversity inclusion. Do you have any of these policies in your organization? Number one, human rights policy. Number two, equal opportunity policy. Number three, diversity inclusion policy.
Sorry, sir, the voice was not much audible. Can you kindly repeat again, sir, please?
Do you have any of these policies in your organization? Equal opportunity policy, diversity inclusion policy, or human rights policy?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. All these things are taken into consideration, sir. So with this thing, we are able to have the opportunities for all, then the equal gender, and then the human rights also is being taken care, sir. Yes, sir.
So, gentlemen, my question is: do you have a policy approved by your board on any one of them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The policy has been made by the company taking this thing as the goals.
And this is in public domain. Is it in public domain?
Sorry, sir. Your voice is echo.
Question is, all the three policies what you said are in public domain?
Yeah, yes, sir. All the three are important, sir.
All right. I'll go through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the three are much important. Yes.
You have another question, Tommy.
So, how are you helping biodiversity? And if at all you're doing something towards it, like you said in your presentation, how are you measuring it, whether it's making an impact or it's not making an impact?
So actually the data is being taken on the project site. So in the project site, So how much of the people or the community is being involved? So from them, reference to the community. So the manpower is also being compared, the work manpower, and in that way the discrimination, and there is some thing of some checkpoints or some checklist is there where there is a the ratings are being done among the employees to know whether there is any discrimination or not. So that is that one is also being taken care, sir.
I hope that he was able to give certain points at least for the question. Fine. Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Mr. Narendran. Mr. Prabhuraj, would you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Raj, as a note, please finish in 5 minutes.
I will try my best, sir.
That is what I'm counting on.
Sure. I'll try to adhere to the timelines given.
5 minutes.
So I hope my screen is visible to all, sir.
Yes, it is visible and you are very much audible.
Yeah. So good evening, all my team, my colleagues throughout this journey, and my jury members, respected jury members. So I'm going to present a short overview on the pharmaceutical industry, how the ESG works. So basically, in this project, what I have taken is I have compared three industry leads, which is Dr. Reddy's, Biocon, and Novartis, which are leading in terms of various elements, and they are not only leading in terms of their business or financial impacts based on the profitability, but how they are integrating ESG and what initiatives, unique initiatives they have taken. So based on that, I have tried to score them and give a concluding remarks, as well as I've studied Dr. Reddy's since I'm a Dr. Reddy's employee. So I have tried to project what Dr. Reddy's is doing much over and above to make its impact visible to the people, where they're disclosing more in the public domain. They are proving their commitments by disclosing their goals by for even up to the 2030, and how they are, what is their action point. So I've displayed some key projects also along line that. So I'll start with the scope of the study. So as I've mentioned, I've compared Novartis, Dr. Reddy's, and Biocon in detail. There have been like we have compared based on their what are the key challenges or what are their materiality issues. We have done a comparison of it, and based on that, and this materiality issues is compared based on this three study and the basic materiality issues which may be applicable to the pharma sector. So I have tried to correlate first I have done a theoretical calculation and see what the trend is coming based on the comparison of this three pharma giants. So basically, before starting, I would like to give an overview of how this pharma sector looks like. So it is a very big business. It is somewhere around 2,89,998 crore business by the year 2019-20. India is a very big market where it is third in terms of value and 14th in terms of the overall impact across the globe operations. We are able to, give a supply around 50 for the 50% of the global vaccines, as well as we are also the 25%, I would say, we are contributing for the UK business. The total export, if we see, is close to $24.6 billion. And India has the greatest number of US FDA approved units, which was around 741 across by the time of August 2021. So we operate in various segments when it comes to drug development. We are producing APIs, we are producing the finished formulation drugs, we are into the vaccines, we are into the biosimilars and the biologics. So DRL is covering almost every the three companies which I've compared is into this zones. So this is how their market looks like for Biocon, Novartis, and Dr. Reddy's. So they are having a huge impact when it comes, like the business scaling is quite high, based on even their profitability is quite good. But apart from it, there are certain key challenges which comes when it comes to ESG integration in the pharma sector. So since we have a lot of R&D operations for the new manufacturing, we have logistics, we have product quality and testing. This definitely leads to more emissions and waste generations, as well as green supply chain and material efficiency is also a key challenge which has been identified. Apart from it, if we see a study, the main focus of the pharma industry is around 77% on the social, the 12% will be on the environment front, and 11% is what they're focusing on the governance. So this is the overall trend for the pharma industries. If we talk about the key risk when it comes to environment, I would say the availability of the natural resources, the water scarcity, the emission part is always an area of concern, along with the energy. Social is of course one key area where we are contributing. So it is always like your affordability, your reach out to the patients, your equity, diversity, and inclusions, and availability, where where how you are means what are the ways you are trying to reach out to the patient. And the last is the governance part, where how you are able to cope up with the various legal requirements based in different areas of business you are in different countries. And the last is your data theft. How secure is your database? Because eventually it is always first come first serve. So like if you will always have an upper hand if you are able to preserve your data and you are first to the market. So that is the goal which every company strives there from their level to be there. I won't go much into the stakeholder engagement process, but if I see what based on the materiality issues which I've taken from the multiple comparing different pharmaceutical companies, so I was able to I have rated them, and for me what have come with the conclusion is regulatory compliances, patient safety, water and waste management, data integrity and security, GHG emissions, occupational health and safety, and transportation and storage of drugs are the ones which will be the for. If we compare not just the three giants, but if we see an overall, these are the seven which can have a greater impact. Now this is something how the materiality issues of the three companies which I've compared looks like. So Dr. Reddy's has done an in-depth assessment where it shares where it identified 25 key materiality issues, whereas Novartis, even being a global giant, they have identified around 8. And similarly is the trend with the Biocon, where they have segregated based on the business they are operating. But when I talk about the common materiality issues, it is the waste management, water management, energy consumption is one of the key challenges. In terms of social, it will be patient safety, availability of the product, your pricing, and your safety of the employees. And your the trials which you are taking on the patients is always the priority for us. The governance part, regulatory compliance, data integrity, and pharmacovigilance, data and privacy. So these are the some common materiality issues. If I compare about these three companies, so yes, they have taken the goals across it. When we talk about the gap assessment, if we see Dr. Reddy's and Novartis are head to head, but whereas there is a big scope when we talk about getting the role for the Biocon. Now coming to the ESG scorecard comparison. So here again, Novartis and Reddy's, as I said, they are very close in terms of taking the goal towards the water management, GHG emissions, patient safety, occupational health and safety. So this I have taken from what are the targets they have done. Then I've done the segregation and I've done the scoring for them. Data integrity and security, and finally is the transportation and storage of drugs. So they are coming as 7.4, the weighted average score, which is coming as 7.4, 7.5, and 6.4 individually for them. If we talk about their GHG targets, they have given a very clear mandate where Novartis and Dr. Reddy's have declared that they will be carbon neutral. Dr. Reddy's will be 100% on renewable power by 2030. They have given, like Novartis has also taken that all their key suppliers will be there. They will be following the same system by 2025. And by 2030, they will be carbon neutral in scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions. So they have given a clear mandate, whereas Biocon is contributing to achieve the goals, but they have not given a clear reflection what they want to achieve in a longer time. Coming, these are some S&P global rating. So here also Dr. Reddy leads with 78 score. When I see CDP, here Dr. Reddy's, Novartis is leading with AA, and Dr. Reddy's is just behind it with A minus and B rating, whereas Biocon is having C and B. So they are lagging behind. This is a comparison of the sustained analytics. So Dr. Reddy's is not on that, has not been rated by them. But if we see this Novartis is coming as a low risk, whereas Biocon is coming as a medium risk. Now, what are the key challenges and benefits? So when I see about the key challenges, yes, it is a very intensive emission sector. Though it is 28% smaller than the automotive industry, it contributes more in terms of emissions. since the climate change is now a issue, so based on the climate changes, the new diseases are coming up. So they have to innovate more. So this is one of the challenges. Biolabs, they consume more energy. And if we see
I have
overall
to
the
interrupt
trends,
you. Prabhuraj,
yeah.
I have to interrupt you. You have another 30 seconds. Please tell us what is the takeaway.
Okay. So finally, I would say I would just sum up here.
Takeaway.
So yeah, so see, every company in the pharma domain, especially the giants, have taken the goal towards the environment, sustainable, this environment, social and governance. But their key focus areas, what I see by comparing them is they are more focused towards the social. They need to cope up for the environment, and every company is now taking a goal towards environment, which is good. But it is a long journey which they have to achieve. And governance is one point where they have to keep a continuous track. Otherwise, this can lead to total business disruption. So this will be my concluding remarks. And just before going, as I said, I want to recommend some action plan for the doctor IDs. So if I see, I've sum up as a short term and long term.
I think it's time for questions. So anybody has questions? Mr. Praveen?
Prabhu, would you have visibility on the supplier governance mechanism for any of the pharma industry? I'm okay if you say you may not have visibility. So just ask.
No, sir. So basically, I'll tell you, I've been associated with one. So what exactly now the companies are doing is, like I can give you an example of a big pharma giant. What is their process right now is, they are trying to identify their key suppliers. They are auditing their key suppliers, and they are trying to bring those suppliers who are critical to them and from the business perspective. They are asking them to align within their framework. So they have given a certain deadline to their key suppliers, and they are being audited on a year-on-year basis with the different targets being assigned. So like Novartis and Dr. Reddy's, they have taken the goal towards that also in order to align them within the framework, so that based on their, even they are prepared for the scope 3, and they are aligned with the targets for a long term, based on the goals which the business has taken.
Yeah, excellent. Sounds good. Thanks.
What percentage of your emission is from scope 3? If I repeat the question, if you couldn't understand, what percentage of your GHG emission is from scope 3?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not able to get the question properly. I might be a problem with my end, but I'm not able to hear the clearly.
What percentage of emissions is from the scope 3?
So I would say in the pharma sector, it is more than what you see based on the scale of the business and the outsourcing division. It will be close to around 40% or even more. For some companies, it will be there. But I have not gone through the exact trend. But I'm giving a trend based on the few reports which I've undergone, where the scope 3 emissions is far more than scope 1 and scope 2.
Data with you while we are talking and explaining about 100%. I would also have a question. Do you have a sustainable sourcing policy? Your supply chain partners?
Yeah.
Do you have a sustainable sourcing policy for the supply chain partners?
So basically, as I told you, right now, yes, there is a criteria to onboard a new process that is there in the system. And strategically, if there is a business which is going before this policy was implemented, so they've been taken into a framework and they've been given a mandate. By this year, you have to align your business in this way. Otherwise, the companies are now stopping business, and they're exploring more business partners which are ready to adopt based on the business requirements. So yes, we do have a policy, but I would say instead of a policy, it is more, based on the targets where the evaluation is being done for the supply chain partners.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, sir? Could I ask you a question? In last, you said that they are more about social, but they have to work on governance. Was it right?
Sir, what I meant by that is, when I say governance, since if you see a common trend where I have presented that 70%, 77% is the social, is where this is the business requirement. Until unless your reach and you are eventually you are into the business of making medicines. So, but at the same time, the governance has to be given a clear mandate because of the US FDA approval or any FDAs or the trials which you take. if one trial fails, there will be an entire business disruption and the image will go, which you have built it for years. So what I mean is, with an ongoing focus on the innovation and the affordability, governance is one part which cannot be given a leverage, and you can, as a what should I say, as a business owner, you can just something which you can put it as a second priority. So it should be always on track, and the weightage could be increased by for some companies which are really lagging in terms of getting the approvals.
May we have the next person, please? Thank you, Prabhuraj.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. May we have the next person?
Uttara? Yeah. Uttara?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Am I audible? Just
Yes.
one moment, I'll share my screen.
You are audible.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right, then I will get started. Good afternoon to everyone.
Sorry, a note. Please take care of the time. Please try to.
Okay, I'll put my stopwatch. My stopwatch is on. So I've got it started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Uttara Ramakrishna. I'm basically a communications professional. I'm going to attempt, give this presentation on ESG implementation in the EPC sector. So broadly, the topics that I'll be covering here is general overview of the ESG space, the key challenges that we are facing currently. I'll also discuss a little bit about the circular economy and the recent trends of the companies in this space. I'll also take you through the recent trends in the energy sector. And then I'll come to what is the latest happening in the Indian EPC space as far as sustainability is concerned. So this is largely the scope. I'm going to skip this. So as far as the industry overview is concerned, the global engineering and construction market is expected to reach about 13.6 trillion by 2028. And as you all know, largely the key segments are real estate, commercial, industrial, infrastructure, construction, etc. So region-wise variation, I'll just quickly take you through. Asia Pacific being the leading leader with strong growth driven by infrastructure investments and urbanization. North America is, of course, a more mature market, looking into technology adoption, sustainability, and Europe, of course, are facing challenges currently because of the economic slowdown. So there is emphasis on innovation and energy efficiency. And Middle East and Africa are rapidly growing with significant investments in major projects and infrastructure. So what are the latest key trends? If you see, as according to the KPMG report, these are the 4-5 key trends under this space. One, of course, being sustainability. It has become a business imperative in this particular space. Second being digitization and AI. How do we use that to our benefit? Three is generally the market uncertainties and how do you absorb that? And there are more segmentations also that is coming in because of that. And then you have the price volatility that you have to take care of, and the changing workforce strategies. How do you attract more talent? These are the key trends, if you see, and what people are talking about in this particular space. So this is just a small survey that was very interesting that KPMG had done recently. So in 2008, when they discussed about sustainability, so sustainability was looked more as a positioning, more as a positioning of being an innovator in this space and acting as an environmentally aware company. And versus if you see now in 2023, about 54% fully envision the benefits of ESG and are aggressively pursuing maturity and improvements. So this is just a quick overview of the ESG ratings. I've picked up a few companies. Some are international. So for example, if you see Vinci is a France-based big player. I've just put their ratings generally to get an overall view of this particular space. As far as India is concerned, okay, before I go into India, if you see Hochtief, that's a German-based company, and I've also put their ratings. India, I've put in L&T, which has a BB rating. This is as of May 23. And then I've also added KEC and through to this particular list. These are the sustainability targets of some of our, some of the players in this industry. So if you see Indian companies, L&T, they have a carbon neutral target of 2040 and water neutrality of 2035. International targets, it's quite visible. Vinci has a net zero target of 2050, and I'm not going to focus too much here because there's a lot to complete in the 5 minutes. So again, materiality assessment, I'm going to keep it very brief because I've had a few of my colleagues, speak about real estate and construction and energy. So it's going to be very similar in terms of topics. So, current concerns and condition clearly is first and foremost important. The first and foremost, most important being the worker safety. And unsafe conditions that they have, and then you have the air quality in general being a big worry. Then you have general community impact, displacement and resettlement because of the construction projects. Then you have waste management, how do we see to it that, improper disposals and hazardous materials, do not cause further problems to the environment. Then, of course, there are regulatory challenges. Then there are also things like biodiversity, which is extremely important, water management, infrastructure resilience, and of course, so it's a long list. I'm going to go to the next slide on circularity, circular economy in the EPC space. So basically, just to give you a quick fact check before getting into the latest trends in this particular space, as far as circularity is concerned, if you see, there are about 100 billion tons, that's 30% of natural resources that are being extracted. At the rate at which we are going, we would need 3 planets literally by 2050 in the current levels of extraction. Only 8% is circular economy, 92 is still, going as waste. So there are a lot of key figures that I've tried giving you here in terms of what sort of cost savings that it will lead to if you adopt a circular economy strategy, and how it will help our social and environmental space also. It will generate about 6 million jobs globally in India by 2030. And of course, health and biodiversity being another aspect. So these are the 10 circular models in which you can, look at, adopting circularity. So at different stages, again, because of paucity of time, for example, at the design stage itself, how do you plan and design such that you can, you can be mindful of, circular economy. Then you have at the procurement stage, for example, at the design stage, how do you design, a better green building, advanced design softwares that you can use. In terms of procurement, how do you use renewable construction material or a recycled material? In terms of, operations, do we have, space sharing services? Do you have energy efficient services? So these are the 10 models under circularity. This is the life stages under construction. I will get into some of the latest practices in the circular economy, under circular economy for this particular space. So one is, for example, plastic roads. So basically, the disposal of nearly 15,000 metric tons of plastic, waste is generated daily in India, which is one of the critical challenges, right? So to achieve net zero goals under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, there was a novel concept of utilizing waste plastic in road construction. So just to keep it very brief, so what happens here is waste plastic is reprocessed in factories into smaller modules, and then it is used along with the other materials while we build roads and while we repair roads. So this is about waste plastic. Second is reuse of excavated material like rocks, and how do you use it for land reclamation. This is something that L&T has done, and this is the example I've given over there. So basically, the Mumbai Coastal Road project has significant quantities of rock excavated and to be disposed of at a site 60 kilometers away. So how do you reprocess this material, for land reclamation? So this is the amount of the material reprocessed for about 120,000, cubic meters, saving about 385 KL HSD, which is high-speed diesel. So these are some of the examples I've given you of different companies and what they are doing. A third is how do you use, treated wastewater using STP and, effluent treatment plant. Then we can look at latest practices. There are quite a few.
Uttara, please, sorry to interrupt you. Can you please come to the conclusion? What is the takeaway? We'll
Sure.
directly go to question and answer.
Sure. So I will go to the takeaway. So these are the latest practices. Please feel free to refer my PPT. There are quite a few. And I also wanted to touch upon, the latest trends in the green hydrogen space, how the green hydrogen technology works, etc. But of course, I will not get the time to focus on this any further. So as far as the latest trends in the energy space is concerned, so we have the use of green hydrogen and how it could be a significant game changer. We also have how the carbon capture technology works in this particular space. Again, in renewable energy, you have solar, you have wind. I've also tried presenting a biomass case out here of Kalpataru, of how they use mustard crop residual as the main biomass source in this particular thing, and what are the SDG goals that are delivered through it. And there are some energy storage systems. These are the ways. So key takeaways being these are the aspects in which Indian government is focusing as far as EPC and energy space is concerned. They are slowly moving towards renewable. For example, a green hydrogen mission, they aim to achieve about 5 MMTP of green hydrogen production by 2030. So there is a grid modernization that they're working at. There are transmission lines for future that they're working at. So slowly and steadily, there are areas in which the government is looking at, but we still have a long way to go. And my idea behind presenting this was to show what the latest trends were in the EPC space and what is happening currently, and what are the challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody has questions?
So Uttara, what is your personal opinion since this construction industry scores very poorly on all the three parameters? What is your personal opinion on where should they focus within the three parameters in the order of preference?
For me, environment, of course, being the key. Most of these companies are listed too. And I always believe that, it is not ESG and it is GES as far as, most of the listed companies is concerned. So, but what I understand, because I work for an EPC company, though I'm not involved in day-to-day operations, I handle branding and communications. I see the approach having changed from what it was about 2 to 3 years ago, wherein it was looked at only more from a funding perspective to attract external funds. But now it is looked more, slowly and steadily it is becoming, a way of life wherein people are getting more and more conscious. So there are a lot of, initiatives, sustainable and renewable initiatives that I see, not only my company, but a few of our immediate peers also looking at in terms of, and the fact that each of them have actually set up sustainability goals. I mean, yes, we'll have to wait and watch, how many of them are able to achieve it. But even if they are close to achieving it, I think it is a good job done for starters. I hope
the question answered.
Okay, thanks, Uttara. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
We have another question.
Hello, sir. Hello.
This side.
Hello, sir.
Takeaways in context of COP28. Just 2 bullets. Talk about energy.
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mohit, if you could just repeat what sir had to say, because I am not able to hear him.
In context of COP28, 2 takeaways about energy, what you talked about, just in 2 bullets, that's all.
If I've understood the question right, about COP28, in one line, so the fact that it is COP28, so we have had 28 COPs, and this being the 28th of all. I think this has probably been the most productive, wherein you have had most of the nations taking renewable energy and saying no to fossil fuels more seriously. It has been put in words, but we'll have to wait and watch as to how much of it actually goes into practice. And that clarity we will get only in the next few months. Hello? Hello.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Who would be the next one?
Dr. Upadhyay, you were a part of COP28. of discussion.
Thank you,
That
Uttara.
was being showcased over there. Yes.
Thank you.
It was a nice presentation. Who would be the next?
Is there anyone in person right now? If not, I think so.
In person, we don't have anybody.
If Suhasini and Pradeep are here or Anand is here and would like to give the presentation, please do come forth, or shall we conclude? Okay, Ravi Shankar. Okay, I guess the rest are not, although they are there, I don't know if they can hear me. They cannot hear me. They're not responding. So I think so we should conclude it by now. It's already 4 o'clock. We could invite the jury members to. Yes, Henry. I'm sorry if the network is not good at your end. Maybe we can invite the jury members and they could share their insights and do a certificate distribution ceremony.
I think we could conclude it. So I'll ask people for the jury. Yes. Jury.
I wasn't aware of this. I know you don't like it, but put it okay.
Mr. Santosh, are you there? You like to join? Feedback from the jury is welcome. I would like Mr. Santosh to join the jury.
Right. Start with you.
Mr. Santosh would be.
What do you want me to? I list it out. नहीं पहले तो बात है कि we'll just give you 3 minutes only maximum, right? So in 3 minutes you tell us about the process, what has happened, and how we can improve it. And if you want, you like it or not.
Okay. Any feedback from you, basically?
Feedback basically. No, it's a great initiative actually. Was conducted. Participants, the kind of hard work they have done in terms of secondary researches, primary researches, if they have gone to places, it looks a lot of effort has gone behind it. A lot of learnings for us also. Believe me, a lot of things which questions the veterans like Captain and then AK and then UG. So a lot of learnings for us as well as an organization. So I would like IICSR to keep on building on this. I'd like more audience so that it would have been more engaging. Next time we would see how to improve upon that. That's all from my side.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you so much, Mohit. You took it off so well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a privilege.
Mohit, can you twist the camera to them? Can you shift the camera to them? Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. नमस्कार. अब इस प्रोग्राम के बारे में क्या कहा जाए, बहुत कुछ कहा जा सकता है, because was online, offline and utilizing full technology. It is very nice that we have such programs, and it is basically concluding of your master's program with the institute. That is more important. And you have also come to know about environment, industry and other presentations. So I found a lot of or from the industry or from the field, and presentations were very nice. Thank you for this opportunity, and I wish.
Good evening, everybody. Well, it's a wonderful program. And although, thanks, Asha, you are calling a jury to this. Let me tell all of you that I might have come a practitioner to ESG. And I have miles to go, and then I become a jury. So I'm too young to be that. A few takeaways, of course, I have from it, which I'd like to share. There are presentations from different sectors and how the ESG is evolving globally perspective. We could see that in this one common class. That's one. So how like pharma is doing, how construction is doing, AS is doing, and what is net zero for them, what is sustainability for them. That's one of the key takeaway part of it online, and like the second part, of course, right there offline, physically. So I could thoroughly enjoy. A few things which that for most of the goals, which is in the form of a theme, I could not see that in last 3-4 presentations. So probably net zero targets are there, but the net zero is a bigger thing that can be achieved with smaller targets that would come in the form of smaller theme, for 3 years, 5 years, things like that. That part was not seen by me. Governance structure, which drives this ESG in any organization. There could be maybe 10-15 seconds for that, because you would be expected as organizations. So how are you going to create that structure, internal governance structure? That part can be highlighted. Third, ESG is quite critical in terms of data and reporting today. So good that some of them have shown SSB, some of them have shown CDP and many other types of reporting, but I'm sure the entire lot about different types of reporting and the benefits of reporting as well, which is there today. Finally, assurance is critical, which is also going to be significant in the upcoming. So how that assurance plays an important role as a third party, and somebody like IICSR can be an assurance partner for the respective organization that you. I would like to propose. If you look at sustainability, you think that we are doing sustainability. What is not about sustainability? If you look at your life, you find everything is connected to it. So I compliment each one of us to be the part. We are not somebody who is jury, that means we know more than you. Each one of us have got derived something, and importantly, हमारे जो पूर्वज थे, पुराने समय के लोग, उनसे बेहतर sustainability. इसलिए मैं I take a privilege to sit in the middle of two senior citizens who are the guides of me, a person like me. But I wish best of luck to all of us who have shown different types of presentation. Key takeaway for all of us. All the best. Thank you very much.
He's very down to earth. Two things, what he said, I like them. One thing is the journey. It's a process, we are all learning. Even today we don't have answer to all the questions, but at least at this level we know the questions. So like we have been discussing for morning, a lot of times I say, good answer. As a professor, I can give you, I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and which one you want to take away. So that has been a good process. And second thing, what is, let's work together. There's no answer to that. Nobody
what can be perfect now. Because there's so much of knowledge. Things are changing so fast. ESG, as you saw since morning, a lot of people gave that 2008 we started, now it's almost compulsory for top 150, soon it's going to be mandatory for a lot of it's already mandatory. Well, why we are talking about it? Because there's a competition, peer pressure. That's why top people have to do, you don't have a choice. And so happy to be part of the journey. I enjoyed, but I have one request to you.
Yes.
Can we have Harsha online? Can we see her and can she spend 5 minutes with us?
Yes, it is it is early night. It is midnight, 2:30. I'm very much here and I'm listening to all the work that is going on.
Harsha, can we see you?
Full screen.
Okay,
She has.
Please come and just address our
sure, sir. Just a minute, I'll switch on the light.
Full screen. It's 2:30 in the night, sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, we want to listen to you now.
Sir, we have all these stalwarts sitting over here. What can I say? And all our students, it's such an extensive study that they have done. We are very proud of them, and I hope that they can go ahead and integrate all their learnings in the real life and in practicing as a practicing professional. So we wish them all the best, and I would like to thank all the panel members, the jury members, the team, Mohit, Nidhi, the entire team to have pulled out the event at such a scale, and MEPSC, especially Santosh and Shikhar, all of you all, and Upadhyay sir, thank you for coming, and thank you, Praveen. For being there, and yeah, it's good to see all the presentations, and it's very rich in content and knowledge.
Harsha, a small request.
Yes, sir.
Suggestion and a request. See, we have done a lot of things in different sectors nobody else has done. So we have a lot of raw data. Me and Ashwani ji we like to volunteer. If we can put all this data together with all of us and turn it into a publication, or at least start with a report. Because for us also it's a learning process. If something is happening in the world, and we will like to be in the forefront. The first one to know, that's a suggestion and a request.
Sure, sir. We shall share all the presentations with everybody.
Remember what we talked about the online frequency of it, and they're like based on various topics. Sustainability is talk about anything. You talk about water, air, reduce, recycle, reuse, water, rooftop, on grid, off grid, every have 20. Okay. तब तक प्राइम मिनिस्टर देखते रहेंगे आपके पब्लिकेशन को. So what I suggest is that we can have some periodic frequency for an online magazine, of course. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. So I would like you to give certifications to the students. Mr. Lokesh. Then we have second in the panel. Sanjay, Ravi.
Mohit, could you push the camera a little up, because we can't see anyone's faces. Yeah, perfect. And all the people who are present online, please do switch on your cameras. We shall take a group picture of all the virtual participants also. We should.
Camera. You come here. We'll be here.
Let me do something.
Yeah.
If you can shift it.
Can you just shift it?
Then we all can come in the front. The program will
इसमें
take
तार लगी है
कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
वायर
इसको साइड कर दीजिए टेबल से।
साइड में कर
सर
you'll do it
परफेक्ट।
please come now
सर
प्रवीण के साथ वैसे मुझे बहुत खुशी है फील निकली यहाँ
May I request Vidya and Nidhi also to be there? Yeah.
Congratulations. So happy to be here. You have to see this side. Yeah. Just one minute. ठीक है? हाँ, please. Let's go a little close. Yeah. All the best. God bless. Mr. Ravi. Mr. Pawan. All of them are. Best presentation. Come. Come. Yes. Even sir is more savvy about pictures than me. I was किया ना यही धंधा करते हैं हमारा फुल टाइम बिजनेस था
Congratulations, ma'am. Stay connected.
So happy Northeast कब जा रहे हो? Sure. Come close. Come close. Let me see that. God bless you.
Stay connected, ma'am. Congratulations.
Start Government of India certification. Yeah, so it's a good certificate. But she was the first one. Come. But you come from that side, huh? Yes. Congratulations, sir.
Stay connected. Let's make it sustainable.
Mohit, is the wait finished?
Yes, it is finished. We would like to give you.
Sure, please. Let's do one thing. यहाँ पे यार सुबह से gender balance ठीक नहीं है.
That is what.
The cinema and all. Everybody, please come. Please come.
I think you.
Sure.
Thank you for your efforts, sir.
Come here. You come that side.
A special thanks, sir. Dr. K.K. Upadhyay.
कविता तो लिखने का टाइम खत्म हो गया. Thank you. Thank you very much. Everybody, thanks, Harsha.
I would like to call Dr. Prabhat to receive the memento of the chief guest on the behalf of Dr. Srinivas, Director Rates.
Also, right now there are about, after this. Also, one last request, all the people who are present online, may I request you all to please switch on your camera so we could have a group picture also. We had about 50 people in the morning. Nonetheless, we have more than 30 people around. So let's switch on the camera and yeah, it's a hybrid event. Uttara, again, please switch on your camera. Narendra, Samir. Okay. So I'll go now. 1, 2, and 3. You all can take a screenshot also, huh?
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
The last one. Can we all come here?
Could we have a group photo?
Yeah.
Participants.
Please, everybody.
All right. Thank you so very much. It was lovely. This was a long journey of 9 months with all of you all. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be a part of your life and to join you in your journey of sustainable development. Really appreciate the opportunity, and our journey does not end over here. It's just the beginning. In case you're looking for opportunities or throughout your career, we would always be around. We are just a text message away.
Sure, we'll be in touch. And it was an electrifying experience today. I hope we keep meeting in future sessions. I would request all to come for a group photo.
Please come,
Especially
everybody.
any participant left?
The others also can come. Please.
Yes.
Everybody.
The Ministry of Skills.
Hi, sir.
Nidhi.
He's a very senior person. What with ministry, please, sir. You always do that. Please come at the back.
I'll share the photographs. You
come
can
at the
also
back.
come on the stage.
Come at the back. थोड़ा close हो जाइए, please. बस अंदर आ जाइए.
So,
you are the host. Yes.
Sorry.
Actually, before this. Now we want to hear your message. Please.
Do you want me to sit?
Anybody want to sit?
Mohit, now we want to hear your message.
Yes.
I would like to also mention Vidya sir is there. He's always quiet in the side. He teaches for the longest period of time.
आ जाऊंगा तो बहुत सारे लोग की फोटो